Hey guys, it's Colin with Legendary Habitat LLC. Today we're up here at Mayo at Bobby Roop's property. It's an 80 acre, a couple of different guys hunt, and they're all in a club. And so we're going to be creating a couple individual doe bedding areas up here at the end of the property. This is a kind of a more open park-like effect right here. We want to get a lot more of this woody browse right here growing up in here. We're standing up on a knoll right here, and actually transitions down into a ravine, and then there's going to be several food plots that all interconnect. This over here is the property line, about 50 yards over to my right, and the design is to basically have sentinel bedding. This is something that was created by Jim Brocker from Extreme Deer Habitat, and basically the idea is to you create bedding along your property line, and then if you have other hunters that are hunting alongside, it's going to push your deer further into your property. So I'm going to go through explaining a little bit how I'm going to create these individual beds. We're going to bring down some of the bigger trees first, and then add smaller trees on top of them. So yeah, I think a couple of these maples right here I can drop over here. Got a couple of high spots here. I think I can get this one to come over right here. And we've got a couple other smaller ones right here. Maple, a couple of buckthorn trees. I can drop them down and make some structure all through this top area. I've got another smaller maple I can drop that way. Just slowly transition this bedding area down here. And then I've got more taller mounds up here. Elevated spot. A lot of these buckthorn trees I can drop. They hinge really well. It should be a great spot. Alright, so now I'm going to start taking a couple of these smaller ones. I'm going to drop it onto this bigger maple right here. So you're trying to create some of the side cover, and then basically this transition area. So you start dropping a lot of this cover under here, and then you start having these individual beds within here while adding some side cover. And actually you start high kind of in the middle of the bedding area, and then you kind of want to work your way out with lower hinge cuts as you dome out away from the bedding area. Alright, so I'm going to take this one right over here, create a little overhead and side cover on this little ledge right here. That way this buck can come in here and have a great view of these doe bedding area all in front of them. And I'm going to hinge cut a couple of these right on top of this bigger tree. Whoa, real more pull. Alright guys, well, we came in here and hinged this bigger buckthorn tree, which was pretty successful. It held together, and I used these other smaller ones to soften the fall so I could keep it intact. It's pretty high, and then I hinge cut this other smaller one above it. We've got a nice canopy right in here. This is right on a ledge. We built more doe bedding area beds out there, so this buck can be sitting up here on a couple different winds, and he can look out and see this whole area. He can see down this way, he can sit down this way, and predominantly with the wind probably coming over his back, so he can smell anything over here. He's got several escape routes, one here, one through here, back through here. So he's got overhead cover and enough side cover. I would imagine there's going to be a buck bedding here this fall. So what I'm standing in right here is a transition zone. There's a trail that comes right up along these little high mounds, and it leads back up into this ridge. So I've done a little bit more hinge cutting here to develop more of a trail, and probably have some doe beds here in front of me. And then you just saw I built that buck bed up on that hill. He can basically come down off there, come through this transition zone, and then come into more doe beds over here. Alright, so come in here, hinge several of these bigger trees. Some of these didn't hinge that great, and that happens. You're going to always have that. The main goal here is to get sunlight into this area and get a lot of regeneration, woody browse. I did have a couple successful hinges, which is great. You got some overhead cover in here, and then you can later come back and do more of the detail work. I've opened up some of these passages through here. There's another passage that leads over there. So if you follow me, come through here. You'll see we got more side cover all along here, which is part of the goal. It leads over to this more open area. And you can plant clover through here and as part of a transition zone leading back out to more food. Come up here, we got more side cover hinge cut. Several spots for those that lay all up through here. And then it leads back through this area right here that I've opened up. Several more spots for doe's bed up in here. And as you can see, leads down this trail. This is a fairly well-used trail they've been using right up on the top of these higher ridges. And it leads right through here. Lots of possible beds all in through here. All up by these conifers, spruces. And this leads all the way back up, and there's a buck bed up here. And I'd imagine there's probably a lot more does bedding all up through in this area now that we've got some good side cover. And this area will probably have to be adjusted based on what kind of activities come in here. You come back in here, check the different beds, see where they're moving, where you want to change things. Come back in here, hinge a couple things, and really kind of manipulate them where you want them based on where they're not moving.